Hey, what's chimping, guys? It wouldn't be a good one of these unless I fucking tried to fix the camera and mess with things. But yeah, it's been a minute since I've gotten to this, as always, and I'm hoping that I haven't, lost my ability to talk about things like this. So I'm not going to really make much time about it. I'm pretty sure the last time we got to my Dram picture disc, so that would leave us at Dr. Dre, the Chronic, classic freaking record, heavily influential, and I feel like what's drawn me to Dr. Dre's music consistently has been his ability as a curator in the field of production, because frequently these records that, for all intents and purposes, while he does, tie it together with his abilities as an MC, which I will acknowledge, it's, obviously fantastic that he can do both, though he's more regarded as the producer. I feel like that ability to work with his guests in such a way to develop this very cohesive and very driven and singularly focused product is so fantastic and oftentimes overlooked by, I think, modern audiences. With records like 2001 and, of course, the Compton, it's not soundtrack, but whatever you would call it. And it's just like, so good, dude. But yeah, Dr. Dre's The Chronic. I kind of want to dig into more of his stuff because I was actually just re-listening to some of his material, and goddamn, it's just so nice. But whatevs. The Drones. Feeling kind of free. This was one of my favorite releases from 2016. A fantastic piece of Australian art rock. It's very schizophrenic and paranoid. Why did I pronounce it like that? In tone. And the songwriting in this is just so sharp and jagged and yelpy almost throughout most of it. It's such an experience. I feel it is, as my first run-in with the band, it really draws me to look into drew me rather to look into their other stuff. And I'm looking to expand my collection on their stuff in the future, but for now, pretty great. Nice succinct record, only 8 tracks. This comes through on their personal label, Tropical Fuckstorm Records, and they pressed it on this lovely little old bright neon pink. So pretty snazzy. Good looks. There's that boy. And of course, in my efforts to actually get into classical jazz, more traditional, this is Eddie Gale's freaking ghetto music. Whoa. A pretty broad, a little bit, I guess, in a modern sense, cheesy, because there's a lot of, vocal jazz segments, which I guess I, as a modern listener, will just fundamentally go to the thing that, it's just a little corny. But, as I dig deeper into, this kind of stuff, it's Sun Ra, big fan of Sun Ra, but I don't have enough of this stuff. So, and that'll, you'll only see my collection in like 5 years or whatever, getting to deep S's, holy cow. But fantastic. Lots of very propulsive trumpet playing from Eddie Gale himself. Nice, enjoyable jazz fusion record, and very nice, thick fucking pressing. And of course, the wax itself has this real nice old white splatter throughout it. Nifty little repress. Came out, I believe, this year, if I'm to recall correctly. It was neat to see, because this isn't a record that gets a whole lot of shine. But, I saw it, and after listening to it, was drawn to it to the point of picking one up. See, of course, a record from this year, Elder, Reflections of a Floating World. I was a little bit more high on this record in the beginning of the year. However, I would say still one of my favorites of the year, and my favorite Elder release. This is just a beautiful piece of stoner metal. Just so vast and hazy at points, but the mixing is sharp enough, and I really love the mixing on this because it allows for those guitar solos to really pierce through that haze and just grab you. It's fantastic, and I am not doing a good job about this. Shucks. But yeah, really good stoner metal record, and I feel it really highlights Elder's unique position at this point, rather than, I guess, resting on the laurels of their predecessors. The wax, also cool. This very nice, light green, translucent splash on an otherwise clear piece of wax. And yeah. That boy right there. And it is a double LP, but didn't gatefold it, which is okay. That's fine. Elliott Smith. I have a couple Elliott Smith records. I was about to show. Why am I doing this? Why am I a fool? Why am I a fool? Elliott Smith is a great singer-songwriter. Really, I guess, substantiated and, in a way, developed himself those melancholic tropes that most people associate with the singer-songwriter genre in a lot of ways, though he did it best. No, I wouldn't say best, but he does really well. And the very stripped back and emotional delivery, he really does a great job at making it feel like it's just you and him in a room, conversationally, going through the motions with this. I already did the flip, too. Wow, it's been a minute. But, yeah, so I have that, his self-titled, and then, of course, probably his most well-known release, Either Or, also fantastic. Very to the point. Probably could stand to get a bit more of his stuff, honestly, but what can you do? Sorry. Also had another record in there that I had already discussed in another video, as I recall. Live in the Witch Trials. This is the debut full-length release from the fall. I discussed a couple of their other releases via 7 inches before, but this is, again, some really kind of punchy, punk-flavored art rock and pop rock. Whoa, from a famously inconsistent band, but the earlier work was pretty good for the most part. And I would say, Live at the Witch Trials, pretty fantastic debut. Lots of great tracks in there. I'd say Rebellious Jukebox. God damn, Rebellious Jukebox. But yeah, only fall full-length I have at the moment, which moves us along to Father John Misty. I Love You, Honey Bear. This is a, critically beloved, fan-beloved record. Very tongue-in-cheek, post-ironic love songs delivered by the ex-drummer of Fleet Foxes. Some pretty, grand orchestration on this, pretty varied in nature. Lots of great tracks. I think that, actually, though, in the end, probably the most immediate one, the one that always struck me the most was actually the one that's played probably the most straight, which is Ideal Husband. But they're all great. I enjoy the vast majority of this record, which is why I got it. Collections. And a little bit more contentious, but I did pick up and thoroughly enjoy Pure Comedy, his follow-up this year. I can understand why people dislike this because, it really plays to a trope at this point. I mean, people are kind of tired of this character that he plays in this, but I feel that in neglecting that idea that he is, in fact, kind of just playing up a character more than he is actually, legitimately playing to this. It's comedy. It's, pure comedy. It's pure comedy. But, yeah, I think that most people don't really appreciate it for what that is, and there's some pretty fantastic tracks on this. It gets a little samey, and I can get that, but I think there's enough to grab onto to make it worth your while. And I'm just going to, leave it at that. But the packaging on this is actually pretty stellar. I got it's like the deluxe or the loser's edition, but this thing flips off. And then in that, this little backdrop here is actually the two inner sleeves. You can take it out and flip the skyline around. You got the blue and that. And then in the middle you've got the lyric sheet, which doesn't seem like anything because it isn't anything. And then a little bit of a red, And on the back you got the rainbow. So I usually just keep it as it was intended, as God intended it, bro. And the wax itself, it's got this silver on the A and B, and for the second disc, you got the nice old copper. So yeah, really snazzy packaging. I think that this is actually, I believe the Grammy thing nominations got it as a best packaging thing going on. But lyric sheet, and if you will slip the heck out of here, come on. There we go. It actually came with a little old tarot card as well. A little hollow tarot card. I got despair because I'm a sad little man. And Tillman was smart enough to make that read through my online purchase somehow. He's just marvelous. But yeah, really snazzy stuff, and I love those kind of things because it really makes the idea of collecting just in this way just a little bit more nifty, That's all you can ask for, man. That being said, a little bit hard to, get everything back in the package. In doing so, still. Father John Misty. And, moving right along, we've got Faust with, self-titled. They're one pretty great piece of krautrock and experimental rock, and you are not going to hop out of the packaging there. I'm not entirely sure what kind of release this was. Maybe it was a record store day release. I seem to recall acquiring it around the time of Record Store Day 2016, though I can't rightly recall whether or not it was a release for that. So, tough for me to say. But as you can see, nice clear wax, got a little hand. I believe that's, yep, that is just the sleeve. I'm a fool. Haven't played it in a minute. But yeah, really great release. The backstory to how this ended up getting released is also pretty interesting. For those that want to look it up, kind of a bit of a goof, if I do say so myself. And then Whoa! Fiona Apple title. This is her debut full length. This is actually the first pressing of it that went onto vinyl for some reason. I guess it was just, CD boon. But Fiona Apple, fantastic singer-songwriter from the 90s. Really unique character in it for just how, I guess, empowered she was. She has a very, strong, bit of a little husky voice in there. Very powerful, very dynamic vocally, and I think that it really kind of shifted the dynamic of those kind of, I guess, female singers in that genre for the time. It really kind of strayed away from the beaten path and created something very unique. And, of course, she has loads of great material going in. I still need to get a lot of stuff from her. Well, then, at least her 2013, which I love. But, yeah. Great record. And I guess probably should do the others. It's got a very thick little cardstock to it, and the pressing itself, I believe, is also 180 grams. So they did a real good job with this. It's really, really rock solid, one might say, if they're a fucking weirdo. Which, we are really blowing through these, though. I'm going to try to keep that up. This is Fireworks with Oh Common Life. This was part of me trying to re-explore what I listened to back in high school without, viscerally cringing myself into a coma. And I think I've finally gotten to the point where I can listen to pop punk or, anything in that vein and look at it with some kind of objective lens and not feel a little grossed out by myself in doing so, which is rad, because I think that there is some merit in bands such as this. Obviously, the instrumentals themselves are none too nuanced. It's all, pretty standard affair, but I feel like there's a bit more bite to the production. It doesn't feel overly sterilized on their not all of their material, because I feel like they released an EP or something somewhat recently that I felt was just totally toothless, and I was like, ugh, But on this release and the one before it that I might also end up acquiring, I thought there was a lot of real nice nods to Midwest emo and, standard, of course, pop punk affairs with a little bit of little twang of country to it, just in their guitars, just a smidgen, which I think really adds to the character of it. And lyrically, I think that there is a bit of a presence to it, a bit more weight to what's being said in the lyrics. Obviously, nothing too revolutionary, but it has a bit more sense than a lot of what I was listening, back in the day. And pretty standard little pressing right there. With they got a little fucking sticker sheet on there. Nice. For some reason, I thought that was a lyric sheet this whole time. I was like, oh, cool. Which is weird. I guess I just never pulled that bitch out. And as for the wax, nice little clear with a black splatter. So pretty nifty. One good thing about going back to pop punk, they need that eye candy for the cool kids, so they just make all their wax nice, which is cool. It's cool. I gotta respect the hustle. FK Twigs LP1. Of course I have this. It is, very beautiful. Arca does a great job on these records. I always appreciate Arca, though I have not managed to click with her solo material in spite of everything. Maybe one day. Still. Fantastic. FK Twigs herself sounding lovely, seductive, and just mesmerizing throughout the entire experience. This feels like an R&B album that was still is like 10 years ahead of its time. It's crazy. It's like it's so inside, bro. It's good music. And of course, I've also got the freaking Melissa EP, released in 2016. I don't see this record around a whole lot, which is interesting. I thought I was like, but it turns out it's actually really widely spread. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, great EP that really, expands her sound a bit. I think that she gets a little more visceral with some of her performances, a little less in the roles that she plays in these tracks. I feel like she is taking a bit more of a stance rather than playing, I guess, coy about it. It's really hard for me to describe that well. Unfortunately, I kind of stink, but that's all right. But yeah, great record. And it's got this nice little freaking matte finish to it that I really dig. And what's more, she actually managed to censor herself quite nice on this, so I can show the back without it being a problem. Cool stuff. Also, I don't know if that, the hand in the face thing is cool. Little nod to the glitchiness of the music. Audio-visual experiences. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Flaming Lips, the soft bulletin. Whoa! I would like to get more Flaming Lips records because, Jesus Christ, this is like the most beautiful, adorable shit. Some really great poppy left field psychedelic rock. It feels so grandiose and at the same time so pure and innocent. The boyish vocals on top of these huge soundscapes, it just feels like what it's like to be a kid again. And the first time I heard this, like for some reason 2014, because it took me a long time to get into this, I don't know why, I was just like struck with this immediate grandiose sense of euphoria, and I was like, I was like on a cloud for the next week or so. It was crazy. Great music, great record. Wow. Flaming Lips, soft bulletin. It's good. And then you gotta get also one of their more renowned pieces. That's why I'm saying I need more. I need really dive into the DMs, get into those deep cuts. But, for now. Yoshimi battles the Pink Robots. Also, very good. Pretty standard. All these are black. Yeah. And I guess I'll close it off on my only Fleetwood Mac record. Boom, Tusk. Yeah, it shouldn't be Tusk, but that's for some reason the only one I have. What? Because, Rumors is, I think, just objectively perfect. Because, even if you don't necessarily like it, you have to look at it and be like, it's not maybe what I want to hear, but if you were looking to hear a certain thing, this is perfect for that, objectively. Again. So trying to follow that up would be kind of different, and I feel like in a lot of ways they kind of just sort of sidestepped it, instead of going forward, they went left, which is fine for me, because this is a really nifty record, and it was owned by, I believe, a Corey, if you can. I really can't make out that, but the little signature on the corner. This is one that I picked up used. I think this is actually initial pressing, which is crazy because it sounds great. Corey, or whoever he is, did a great job in maintaining everything but these sleeves, which are kind of a little busted up, but, still. Tusk. Pretty good. So, yeah, that will do it for this. And we are partially through the Fs. catch you on the flip side. Thank you for watching. Love you.